Hello friends and my dear students, I welcome you all to my channel. I hope you are all well and your studies are also going on well. This is the new chapter I have started. This is chapter coordinate geometry. This is part 1 video on coordinate geometry where I will be solving some problems of the textbook exercise 8.1 and some MCQ problems from the supplementary textbook MCQs in mathematics. I have I will be solving some selected conceptual problems. If you want me to discuss the key points, key concepts, and the formulas from this chapter of coordinate geometry, then please do let me know in the comment section. I will definitely make that video. So this video is part of the playlist CBSE Maths for class 9 following the textbook of author R.D. Sharma. If you find this video beneficial, then please like it, share it with your friends, and please support me by subscribing to my channel, and do not forget to press the bell icon so that you will be notified by my future videos. Okay. So the first problem says that in which quadrant or on which axis each of the following points lie. So while solving the problems, I will try to give I will try to discuss the basic concepts that will be required to solve the problems. So we know we know that the Cartesian coordinates, the Cartesian coordinate axis, we have two axes perpendicular to each other. One is the y-axis and the other one is the x-axis, and they intersect at the point O, which is known as the origin. The positive To the right hand side of the origin O, we have the positive direction of x. So in this direction, all the values of x are positive, and and towards the left of the origin O, we have the negative values of x. Similarly, towards above the x-axis, this way, the values of y are positive, and below the x-axis, the values of y, that is ordinates, are negative. So any coordinate, the point of any a point in the Cartesian coordinate axis, or this is known as Cartesian plane, any point, we have the coordinate is expressed with the two values, let's say alpha comma beta, where alpha, so the coordinate of a point in the Cartesian plane is an ordered pair, where the first value in the ordered pair is known as the abscissa. So alpha is the abscissa or x coordinate, and beta, the second value, the second number in the ordered pair, is the ordinate or the y coordinate. Now alpha, this value alpha is basically the distance of the point A from the y-axis. Now, if alpha is positive, that means the point A is to the right hand side of the y-axis, and if alpha is negative, it means that the point A is to the left hand side of the y-axis. Similarly, beta is the distance of the point A, is the perpendicular distance of the point A from the x-axis. If beta is positive, then it means the point A is above the x-axis, and if beta is negative, it means A is below the x-axis. Now, the entire Cartesian plane is divided into 4 regions by these two coordinate axes, that is y-axis and x-axis. You can see that these are the 4 regions. Now, these 4 regions are given some name. This region is known as the first quadrant. This region is known as the second quadrant. This region is known as the third quadrant, and this region is known as the fourth quadrant. So clearly, all the abscissa or x coordinate of all points in the first quadrant or fourth quadrant will be positive, and all the x coordinates of all points to the left hand side of y-axis will be that is all the x coordinate or abscissa of all points in the second or third quadrant will be negative. Similarly, the ordinate or y coordinate of all points in the first and second quadrant will be positive, and the ordinate or y coordinate of all points in the third or fourth quadrant will be negative. Okay, so now let's see in which quadrant these points belong. The first point, we see that the x coordinate abscissa is -3, which is negative. Clearly this point will be either in the second quadrant or third quadrant, that is to the left hand side of the y axis. Now we will check the ordinate, that is the y coordinate. It is 5, it is positive, so it will be above the x axis. So clearly -3, 5 will be in the second quadrant. This is in the second quadrant. The next point, 4 comma -1. The abscissa is 4 and ordinate is -1. So abscissa of 4 means it is positive, so it has to be either. So the point is, so basically the point 4 comma -1, it is at a distance 4 from the y axis. Now since 4 is positive, it will be towards the right hand side of the y axis. So the point will be either in the first quadrant or fourth quadrant. Now I will check the ordinate, which is -1. -1 means that it is at a distance -1 from the x axis. Since it is -1, it will be below the x axis. Clearly the point 4 comma -1 belongs to the fourth quadrant. So this belongs to the fourth quadrant. 2 comma 0. Now 2 comma, so none of these points, -3 comma, the first 2 points, they do not lie on any axis, they lie purely on the quadrants. Okay, the third point, 2 comma 0, whenever you see whether the abscissa, if any one of the value abscissa, if any one of abscissa or ordinate is 0, clearly you will understand that that point is lying either on the y axis or on the x axis. If the value of x coordinate or abscissa is 0, then it will lie on the y axis, and if the value of ordinate or y coordinate is 0, it will lie on the x axis. So the point 2 comma 0 definitely will lie on the x axis, and it will be at a distance 2 from the y axis. Since abscissa is 2, it is positive, it will be at a distance +2, that is positive 2 from the origin, which means it will be on the positive direction of the x axis. So it will be on the x axis somewhere over here. So this point 2 comma 0 lies on the x axis and in the positive direction of the x axis. So this is x axis. 2 comma 2, both we can see 2 comma 2, both the abscissa and the ordinate are positive. So whenever both the abscissa and the ordinate are positive, clearly it will belong to the first quadrant, because only in the first quadrant the abscissa and ordinate, they are both greater than 0. So 2 comma 2 will lie on the first quadrant. So one concept you must also you must understand, there is no need to memorize, is that depend what is the condition of the abscissa and ordinate depending on in which quadrant the point lies. So we have this coordinate axis. So in the first quadrant, let's say there is a point P in the first quadrant. So let's say this be x1 comma y1 are the coordinates of the point P, which is in the first quadrant. So in the first quadrant, all the points in the first quadrant, their abscissa and ordinate are both greater than 0. So we must have x1 greater than 0 and y1 greater than 0. If you take, let's say, consider a point Q in the second quadrant, let's say its coordinates are x2 comma y2. This is the second quadrant. Then the abscissa or the x coordinate will be less than 0 and the ordinate or the y coordinate will be greater than 0. In the third quadrant, if we consider any point in the third quadrant, let's say R, let's say its coordinates be x3 comma y3, then x3 will be less than 0 and y3 will also be less than 0. And if you take any point S on the fourth quadrant. This is the fourth quadrant. Let's say its coordinates be x4 comma y4. Then x4, the abscissa will be greater than 0 and y4 will be less than 0. So this so you must given the quadrant, you must be very clear of what could be the value of the abscissa and abscissa and the ordinate, that is whether they are greater than 0 or less than 0. Okay, so the final point minus 3 comma minus 6. So minus 3 abscissa is negative, so clearly it will be either on the second quadrant or third quadrant. Now we see the ordinate. Ordinate is negative minus 6, which means it will be on the third quadrant. So the point minus 3 comma minus 6 is in the third quadrant. Okay, let's see the next problem. Which of the following points lie on the y-axis? Now, if a point, all the points that lie on the y-axis, their abscissa or x-coordinate are 0. So this is y-axis, x-axis. If you take any point P on the y-axis, the coordinates will be of the form 0 comma a, where a is some real number. It could be positive if it is above the x-axis, and it will be negative if the point P is below the x-axis. So any point, coordinate of any point on the y-axis will be of the form 0 comma a. So now we can clearly say which of the points, given points, are lying on the y-axis. I will tick mark all the points so which are lying on the y-axis. Clearly it will be C, because abscissa we have to select all the points whose x coordinate or abscissa is 0. So C, D, E and G. C, D, E and G, these points will lie on the y-axis. Okay, let's see the next problem. Find the coordinates of a point that lies on the line joining 1 comma minus 1 and B 4 comma 5 in between the points A and B. So one concept is that if you are given any 2 points, let's say A and B, let's not take A and B, let's say P and Q are P, let's say its coordinates is x1 comma y1, and there is another point Q, let's say its coordinates is x2 comma y2, and we don't know whether the points P and Q lie in which quadrant. So if now we are asked to find the coordinate of a point which will lie on the line joining P and Q, that is this line, and the point will be in between the point P and Q on the line, maybe somewhere over here. Let's say this point be T. We have to find, let's say the coordinates of the point T is x comma y. We have to find x comma y. Now one way of finding a point T in between P and Q that will lie on the line joining the points P and Q is the midpoint of P and Q. That is, if we consider the point T to be equidistant from the point Q and P, then T is said to be the midpoint of P and Q. So then what will be x and y? What will be the coordinates of the let's consider the T to be the midpoint of P and Q. That is, the distance between P and T is equal to the distance between Q and T. Then the point T is said to be the midpoint of P and Q. Okay. So then x will be the mean of the abscissa of the point P and Q. That is average x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and the y will be also the mean of the ordinates of the point P and Q. That is y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So in this way you can find x1 plus x2. So the point T whose abscissa is x1 plus x2 by 2 and whose ordinate is y1 plus y2 by 2 is the midpoint of the points of the two given points P and Q, and the point T will also lie on the line joining the points P and Q. So clearly I can find it is the question is asked to find the coordinates of a point that lies on the line joining A and B in between the points A and B. So I can say if that point be, let's say C, let's say x comma y, then x will be 1, the mean of the abscissa of the points A and B, that is 1 plus 4 by 2, which is 5 by 2, and y, that is the ordinate of the point C, will be the mean of the ordinates of the point A and B, that is minus 1 plus 5 by 2, which is 2. So the point 5 by 2 comma 2 will be a point that lies between the two given points A and B, and that point will also lie on the line joining the points A and B. Okay. Let's see the next problem. Question number 4. Write the coordinates of the vertices of a rectangle whose length and breadth are 5 and 3 units respectively. Okay. So we have a rectangle whose length and breadth are given in units as 5 and 3. We have to find the coordinates of its vertices. One vertex at the origin. So one vertex of the rectangle is the origin. Okay. So let's see. Let's draw the Cartesian coordinate axis, the y-axis and the x-axis. This is x dash, y, o, y dash. Okay. So O, O is one vertex of the rectangle. Okay. The longer side lies on the x-axis. So the longer side lies on the x-axis means it coincides, it is lying on the x-axis. Okay. So that means the opposite end, the vertex opposite the vertex opposite to the O is definitely a vertex of the rectangle, and the vertex opposite to the vertex O, which is along the longer side, let's say that will be on the x-axis, and the longer side will be definitely the length of the longer side. The longer side will be of length 5. So I can say that if OA is one of the longer sides, then the coordinates of the point A will be 5, 0. Since it is the point A is lying on the x-axis, so OA is one of the longer side which is lying on the x-axis, and the point A, the length OA should be equal to 5 units, because the length of the rectangle is given to be 5 units. So if OA is 5 units, then definitely the point A is at a distance 5 units from the origin O. And now one thing is that how are we sure that the point A will be to the right hand side of the y? It could also be to the left hand side of the y. That is, the point A, the coordinates of the point A could also be minus 5, 0. Then also the point A will be at a distance of 5 units from origin. Let's see what else is given. The longer side lies on the x-axis, and one of the vertices lies on the third quadrant. And one of the vertices lies on the third quadrant. Third quadrant means this is the third quadrant. So O is one vertex. Now definitely, if one vertex of the rectangle has to be in the third quadrant, then definitely the rectangle has to be something like this. So the point A is definitely then to the left hand side of the y-axis, because if point A, that is, if I consider OA to be one of the longer side, then the rectangle, then the other two vertices then the other two vertices has to be either in the second quadrant or in the third quadrant, in the fourth quadrant, but it is given that one of the vertex is in the third quadrant. So definitely the point A will be on the left hand side of the y-axis. Let me draw the y-axis again so that I have space. Let's say this be the y-axis, this be the origin, okay, and okay, so the point A has to be over here. I'm considering one of the longer side of the rectangle is OA. So the coordinate of the point A has to be -5, 0. So then the other vertex will be the other vertex will be in the third quadrant. So it is given that the breadth of the rectangle is 3 units. So definitely one vertex of the rectangle has to be along the y-axis and it will be below the x-axis. So let's say this be the, let's say this is B, the vertex B, one of the vertex of the rectangle, and its coordinates will be -3, 0. Sorry, it will be 0, -3, 0, -3. So now clearly the last vertex, so O is one vertex, A is one vertex, and B is one vertex of the rectangle having length 5 units and breadth 3 units. So the other vertex, let's say it be C, has to be over here. This should be the last vertex. So the rectangle is AOBC, and the vertex of C will be it is at a distance. The point C is to the left hand side of the y-axis. It is in the third quadrant. So definitely the abscissa it will be at a distance 5 from the y-axis, but since it is towards the left hand side, the abscissa will be -5, and the ordinate, the point C, is at a distance 3 from the x-axis, but it is below the x-axis, so the ordinate will be -3. So now we have AO, and the origin is of course the coordinates of the origin O is 0, 0. So AO, BC are the vertices of the rectangle. Let's see the next problem. Question number 5. PQRS is a square having vertices 1, 0, Q is 4, 0, and S is 1, 3. Find the coordinates of the vertex R. So PQRS, okay. So let's draw first the Cartesian coordinate axis. So this is x dash, O origin x, this is y, and this is y dash. So let's plot the points PQS. P is 1, 0. Okay, so 1. Okay, Q is 4, 0, and okay, so let's approximately do some division marking. So let's say this is at a distance 1 unit from the origin, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the point Q, its ordinate is 0, which means it will lie on the x-axis. So this is the point Q. Its coordinates are 4, 0. So the point Q is at a distance 4 from the origin O to the right hand side of the towards the positive direction of the x-axis. The point P is 1, 0. So point P is also on the x-axis because its ordinate is 0. So we have, this is the point P is 1, 0, and the point S is 1, 3. 1, 3 is will be, since both the abscissa and the ordinate are greater than 0, it will be on the first quadrant. Okay, so 1, 3 will be So if I do some marking along the y-axis, this is 1, 2, 3, somewhere here. This will be the point S, which is whose coordinates will be 1, 3. The point S is at a distance 1 from the y-axis, and it is at a distance 3 from the x-axis. Okay, so we have to find the coordinate of the vertex R. So clearly the vertex R is the vertex opposite to the vertex P, and so definitely the line, so definitely the coordinates of the R, the point, the vertex R and S should be at the same distance from the x-axis. And okay, so that means that the ordinate of the vertex R will also be 3. So it will be somewhere over here. The point R, since R is the R, point S and R is along the SR, the side SR of the rectangle of the square is definitely parallel to the side PQ. So this means that the point S and R will be at the same distance from the x-axis, and the point S is 1, 3, which means that it is at a distance 3 from the x-axis. So the point R should also be at a distance 3 from the x-axis. So its ordinate has to be 3. What will be the abscissa of the point of the vertex R? Now the RQ, the side RQ should be parallel to SP, and which means that the point R and Q, the vertex R and Q should be at the same distance from the origin O, and we clearly know that the point Q is at a distance 4 from the origin, since its x coordinate is 4. So the x coordinate or abscissa of the point R should also be 4. So we have even though it is not looking like a square, please assume it that this is a square. So this is the square PQRS. The coordinate of the vertex R is 4, 3. Let's see the next problem. A point lies on the x-axis. Okay, let's first quickly draw the Cartesian coordinate axis. X dash O, X, Y, O, Y dash. Okay, a point lies on the x-axis at a distance of 7 units from the y-axis. Since it is given 7 units, it is not minus 7. 7 units means 7 is positive, so it will be towards the point will be to the right hand side of the y-axis. That is, it will be on the point will lie on the x-axis and towards the positive direction of the x-axis. So definitely, let's say that point B. So it is, since it is at a distance of 7 units from the y-axis, the point A, let's say the point BA, its distance, the perpendicular distance of the point A from the y-axis or the origin is 7. So clearly its x coordinate or abscissa has to be 7. And since the point A is lying on the x-axis, its ordinate will always be, the ordinate will be 0. So 7, 0 is the coordinate of the required point, that lies on the x-axis and is at a distance of 7 units from the y-axis. Let's see question number 7. The image of the point -3, -2 in x-axis lies in which quadrant? Okay. Now one concept is that you will be asked to find the coordinate of the image of a given point. Either in the image has to be in the x-axis or y-axis. What does it mean? So let's say we have the Cartesian coordinate axis y, o, y dash, x dash, o, x. So let's say, just for the sake of example, here is a point P. Let's say its coordinates are alpha, beta. Now what will be the image of this point P, which is in the first quadrant? The image of point P in the x-axis will be somewhere over here. That is, if Q is the image of the point P in x-axis, that is, you will you will let's say uh, you will draw a line perpendicular to the x-axis that will pass through the point P. So this is the line perpendicular to the x-axis. Since the image has to be taken in the x-axis, I will draw a line perpendicular to the x-axis which will pass through the point P. Now you consider the image of the point P will be a point along this perpendicular line and below the x-axis. Since the point P is is above the x-axis, its image will be below the x-axis, and the point Q will be at the same distance below the x-axis as the distance of point P above the x-axis. The distance of point P above the from the x-axis is beta. Ordinate or y coordinate gives the distance of a point from the x-axis, and the abscissa or x coordinate gives the distance of the point from the y-axis. So the coordinate of the point Q, as you can see, the point P and Q will be at the same distance from the y-axis. So their x coordinate or abscissa will be same. But now the point P was at a distance beta from x-axis above the x-axis. So the point Q will be, that is a image of the point P in y-axis, which is point Q. It will be at a distance minus beta from the x-axis. That is, it will be at a distance beta from the x-axis but below the x-axis. So this will be, so the ordinate of point Q will be minus beta. So the concept is that if you have any point, let's say A, any point A alpha beta, if you do its image in x-axis, the image will be, let's say, A dash. In general, the image of a point P is denoted by P dash. So this should be, actually, mathematically, it is a convention that that the point that the image of a point P is denoted with P dash. So if I have a point of A whose coordinate is alpha and beta, coordinates are alpha comma beta, then its image, the coordinates of its image, that is, if the image of point A is A dash, its coordinates, the image in the x-axis will be alpha. The x coordinate will be same, abscissa will be same, but the ordinate will get P negative of beta. And the same point alpha comma the same point A alpha comma beta, if I take the image, what will be the image of this point in y-axis? It will be the opposite, that is, the abscissa x coordinate will be negative of the abscissa of point A. So minus alpha, and the ordinate will be same. This is the main concept of finding the coordinates of a image of a point in either y-axis or x-axis. So clearly, the image of let's say this point be P. So we have the point P minus 3 comma minus 2. We have to find its image in x-axis. So image in x-axis will be P dash x-axis P dash, where the x abscissa will be the same, but the ordinate will be negative. Negative of minus 2 is 2. Now we have to find where, in which quadrant the point P dash lies. So its x coordinate is negative, so it will be to the left hand side of the y-axis, and the ordinate is positive. Ordinate is 2, it is positive, so it will be above the x-axis. So it will be somewhere over here. P dash will be minus 3 comma 2. So it will be in the second quadrant. So it's a fill in the blank question. It will be in the second quadrant. Now, if I'm doing any kind of mistake, any kind of I'm applying the concepts incorrectly, then please feel free to let me know in the comment section. I will really appreciate that. And if you have any question or if you have any doubt the way I'm solving, then also please let me know. I will do my best to clarify your doubts. Let's see the next question. Question number 8. If A is greater than 0 and B is less than 0, then the image of A comma B. Okay. Now, first of all, A, let's first figure it out in which quadrant the point A comma B lies. So we have this Cartesian coordinate axis y o y dash x dash o x. Okay, it is given A is greater than 0. A is greater than 0. A is the abscissa, which means that the point will be to the right hand side of the y axis. That is, it will be either in the first quadrant or it will be in the fourth quadrant. Okay. B is given to be less than 0. B is ordinate. Now, ordinate or y coordinate less than 0 means it will be below the x axis. So either it will be third quadrant or fourth quadrant. Okay. So clearly we can say that the point A comma B is somewhere here. The point is P, let's say it is in the fourth quadrant. The point A comma B, where it is given A is greater than 0 and B is less than 0, is in the fourth quadrant. So what will be its image in the y axis? As its image will be somewhere over here. P dash, the so the image, if you are taking the image of a point in the x axis, then the abscissa, the x coordinate remains the same, but the ordinate gets negated. That is, the ordinate of the image will be negative of the ordinate of the original point. It will be A comma minus B. Okay. Now, clearly we have, since we have already figured it out that the point A comma B lies in the fourth quadrant, so its image in x axis. Oh, sorry, it is asked to find the image of A comma B in the y axis. Oh, so this is wrong. This is wrong. The image of the point P in y axis will be somewhere over here. So this is P dash, where the abscissa of the image will be equal to the negative of the abscissa of the point P, which is minus A, and the ordinate will be same. So definitely the image of the given point A comma B is in the third quadrant. Let's see the question number 9. Point minus 7 comma 0 lies on the dash direction of which axis? That is, we have to say whether positive or negative direction of whether y or x axis. So clearly we see the point minus 7 comma 0, the abscissa or the x coordinate is minus 7, which means that first of all the ordinate is 0, means y coordinate or ordinate is 0, which means it lies on the x axis. The point lies on the x axis. So definitely this will be x axis. Now, in which direction the point will lie on the x axis? Whether it will lie in the positive direction or in the negative direction. It will lie in the positive direction if the abscissa is positive, and it will lie in the negative direction of x axis if the abscissa is negative. So the point is given is minus 7 comma 0. The abscissa is minus 7, which is negative. So clearly it will be lies on the negative direction of x axis. Part 2, point 0 comma minus 3 lies on the which direction? Dash direction of dash axis. So now we see the x abscissa or the x coordinate is 0, which means that this point lies on the y axis. Okay, so definitely this point will be either in the positive or negative direction of y axis. So this will be y. Now we have to figure it out whether it is lying on the positive direction of y or in the negative direction of y. It will depend on the ordinate. We see the ordinate is -3, which is negative. So the point will lie in the negative direction of the y axis. So on the negative direction of y axis. Let's see the next problem, the last problem, question number 10. The points are 0, 0, A 7, 0, B 7, 4 and C 0, 4 form a, okay, what kind of figure these 4 points are making. So we have to roughly or approximately we have to plot the points and see what figure they are making. So we have x dash O, the coordinate axis, x dash O, x, y, O, y dash. Let's plot the points. O is the origin having coordinates 0, 0. The point A is coordinates are 7, 0, which means the ordinate is 0, which means it will lie on the x axis and it will be at a distance 7 units from the origin, which means it will lie, the point A will lie on the positive direction of the x axis. So let's say this be point A, which is 7, 0. Okay. Let's see the point B. The point B, the coordinate, the x coordinate or abscissa is also 7, which means that and it is at a distance 4 from the x axis. Ordinate of the point B is 4, which means that it is it lies at a distance 4 from the x axis along the positive direction of the y. So somewhere over here this will be point B, which is whose coordinates are 7, 4. So the point B and A, they are both at the same distance of 7 units from the y axis. Okay. So we have three. Okay. So and the point C is 0, 4. The abscissa is 0, which means it will lie on the y axis. The point C will lie on the y axis, and the ordinate is 4, which means it is positive. So it means it will lie on the positive direction of the y axis. So let's say this is the point C, whose coordinates are 0, 4. Clearly we see that the ordinate of point C and ordinate of point B are same, which is 4. That is, both the point B and C are at the same distance 4 from the x axis along the positive direction of the y. Okay. So now if we join the points O, so the figure O, A, B, C, this will clearly be a rectangle, because obviously the side BC is parallel to the side OA, and OC is also parallel to the side AB, and OA is equal to 7 because the OA is equal to the distance of the point A from the origin O, which is 7, and AB is equal to the distance of the point B from the x axis, which is 4. Clearly the adjacent sides are of unequal length, but and all the angles and all the interior angles of the figure are at right angle. So definitely this figure is a rectangle. Part 2, the points O 0, 0, A is okay. So we have to draw in a separately. So let's say this is x dash O, x, y, O, y dash. So O is the origin having coordinates 0, 0. We have the point A is 6, 0. Ordinate is 0 means y coordinate, or ordinate 0 means it will lie on the x axis, and the x coordinate or abscissa is 6, it is positive, so it will be at a distance 6 units from the y-axis towards the positive direction of x-axis. So let's say this be with the point A 6, 0. The point B is having 0, 4. Abscissa is 0, means it will lie on the y-axis, and the ordinate is 4, which means it will be at a distance 4 units from the x-axis, and since it is 4 positive, it will be along the point will be along the positive direction of the y-axis. So let's say this be the point B, which is 0, 4. Okay, so we have the points A, O, A, B. So clearly, OAB is a triangle. OAB is a triangle, and of course, the angle angle BOA is 90 degrees. Since this angle, that is the angle, since the coordinate axis, Cartesian coordinate axis are intersecting at right angles, so definitely angle BOA will be 90 degrees. So this is a right angled triangle. So this is a right angled triangle of area. Okay, so first of all, in the fill in the blanks, form a right triangle. Okay, and what will be the area? So area, we can say area of triangle BOA will be half into base, which is OA, and height, which is OB. So what is AB? What is OA? OA is the distance of the point A from the origin, which is 6, and OB is the distance of the point B from the x-axis, which is 4. So this is 12. 12 square units is the area of the triangle formed, which is BOA. So I hope solving this problem will give you a good understanding of the concepts of the Cartesian coordinate axis, the coordinates of a point, and the 4 quadrants, and the condition on the abscissa and ordinate of the coordinates of a point depending on whether in which quadrant the point lies, the distance of a point, the relation between the coordinates of a point with the distance of the point from the y-axis and x-axis. I will solve more problems in the subsequent few videos, so that I will cover all the concepts and topics of the chapter coordinate geometry. So if this video was beneficial, then please like it, share it with your friends, and once again, please support me by subscribing to my channel, and do not forget to press the bell icon so that you will be notified by my future videos. So after solving more problems in the next 2 or 3 videos, I will try to make a video where I will discuss all the key concepts and formulas that you need to know from this chapter of coordinate geometry. So I am ending the video here. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, take care and bye.